This is Tanks and Tutties, presented by Tubbs and Frankie. Football's back, y'all. This is episode 61. Today is Tuesday. We're recording early, 4:13. We both have a fantasy football draft. So we're going to try to hammer through this, but the NFL is starting this week. It's a big week. Everybody, we made it through the dog days of summer. We made it through shitty baseball. We made it through all these baseball players getting arrested and touching minors and beating their wives, and we powered through, and we made it to football. We made it to Saturdays and Sundays on the couch, not moving. I'm so excited.
244 days, I think.
I don't know. All I know is that it is back, and I can't wait. This week, it's a little bit of a change in our show. We've got our Locks and Longshots, as always, that will always be there. We're going to talk some college football shortly because the NFL is the big slate, but there was just so many games that did not go the way people thought. We have to mention them. And then we'll have our NFL preview, and Paige's Picks is back. One of my favorite segments. I came in second last year. Frankie, you won, right?
I did.
I think you got me by one game with an asterisk. But no, I'm just kidding. I went back and looked. We're going to keep better track of that this year. We are going to do the grid, but we won't have news this week. And
news is temporarily suspended.
Yep, news will be suspended until football's done or football slows down, maybe playoffs times. But the do not bet list is back. We had a weekend of gambling. We have a couple things there. And then roulette. We have a changed roulette I want to mention real quick. Normally when we hit a number, we run it back for the same amount. We're actually going to cut the bet in half. We're just trying to keep our profits up. We've only hit back-to-back twice in this entire history of doing this show, so we're gonna.
We just have to be smart gamblers, and that's
exactly smart gamblers. Get out when the winning's good. Don't leave at a loss. Shit like that. Exactly. You're only one hit away from your biggest hit ever. So, let's get started. Quick weekend recap, Frankie. How was your weekend?
Pretty chill. I honestly didn't do much this weekend. I did get out and golf. I will say so that it was the first time that I'd golfed in, I believe, two weeks, which isn't that long, but when you're golfing weekly and then you go on a 2-week break, it's a little different. It was a lot hotter than I thought it was going to be. It said it was like 88 outside, and then I got out there and it was probably the hottest it's felt all year golfing. I think it was just so humid that it felt like it was high 90s. Sun was beating down. It hadn't rained here in like a week, which doesn't seem that long, but when it's full sun and high heat every day without rain, things tend to get hard. So I didn't golf my best. I didn't golf my worst. It started out pretty rough, kind of came around on the back a little bit, but just the course was so hard you couldn't play anything very well. All in all, I played some different tees this week. I've been playing the yellows, which are like the middles. I went one step back and played the blues this week just to kind of test myself. Played the same course that I've been playing. So it was fun. Nice to at least get out there. I did see a snake on the course, which was the first time. It was like 2 feet long, just a black snake. Paige was petrified. Yeah, honestly, I was shocked that I hadn't seen a snake until now. But all in all, didn't do much.
I was wowing at 2 feet.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's pretty long.
Yeah. It was pretty thin, but anyways.
Long and thin, fits it in.
That is true, I guess.
Okay, all right, let's move on. I hate that.
Anyways, Sunday. So, yeah, golf Sunday. Didn't do much Saturday. Monday was pretty chill for us. Neither of us had to do anything, Paige and I, so we kind of just sat around. We did go to the store, and then Jake and I had a fantasy football draft last night. I killed it. I'm going to wipe the floor in that league. I will say I spent a lot of time doing research and made a whole Google Sheets with ADPs for every position and took a bunch of notes and was all prepared for this draft. About midway through the first round, I threw out all my draft research because ADPs were through the roof and just people were taking players that I did not expect to get taken in a good way for me.
Charbonnet.
So, yeah, Zach Charbonnet in the 9th round when not Kenneth Walker, when other starters are still available on the board. So things got interesting. I'm going to wipe the floor in that league. Not worried about it, though. Yeah, my weekend was good. How was yours?
Mine was good as well. Friday, I mentioned that I would be at the tailgate for the MSU game. We went out there. Luckily, Sid and I both got out of work early, and we were able to kind of go over to our buddy's place, and we did a little drinking. And then we were going to try to there was a chance we were going to get tickets to the game, and I believe that since I wasn't there, Central did not play to their full capacity, but we went to the tailgate, and then we went to B-Dubs and watched some of the game there, had a drink, had some wings, and then very we're getting older situation. I think we got home at 11, and I think we were asleep. I actually stayed up and watched football, I think, but Sid was asleep at like 11:01, and it was just it was very
out.
much. We're not like where we used to be, and not even that she was like plastered, like she was just exhausted, and it's. It's not college anymore, Frankie. I'll tell you that. And then Saturday we woke up, drove down to the parents' cottage, watched the Michigan game, and then just kind of did some day drinking, did some swimming, had dinner, had a little fire, and then what was the Saturday night game? Was there a good one? North Carolina, South Carolina was on, but nothing crazy. Sunday, tried to go outside as much as I could. We played spike ball. Did some swimming. I did catch one fish. I try to catch a fish every time I go. I caught a nice little crappie, very small, but it's a fish. And then what else did we do? We took out the paddle boat for a little ride. I helped my grandma close up her cottage a little bit, which was very nice of me. I power washed all of her chairs, power washed her grill, and then it turns out she has a ginormous wasp nest in her shed. So that was scary, but they weren't mad. I got very lucky. It was right next to where the power washer went, and I barely noticed it. But also, Best Grandson Ever award. I did not charge her. I turned down her money. Great person.
Nice little pat on the back. Drinking.
Yep. But Sunday I went, not even necessarily that I went too hard, but I was mixing margaritas and beer. And it turns out that's a bad combo because Monday, once I got home, I drove us home, and I felt fine. And then I laid down for a second. I think I was like watching TikTok. I was going to maybe take a nap, and then I felt so shitty. We had thought about recording on Monday, but I told you, I was like, I have no energy. And I'm glad we didn't because I'm actually excited now. I feel better. But, yeah, Monday I didn't do shit. I laid around until our draft, and that was it. I feel great now, but it turns out margaritas and beer don't go well together. So all you kids out there, when you get to the age of 21, don't do margaritas and beer. Hope I didn't miss anything.
I will say I drank a C4 this morning, so I also have the energy and the focus for this episode. Feeling great.
Nice. I used to do C4 before I worked out. I had C4 pre-workout. That shit used to have me itching my eyelids and my eyeball itself. I scratched my cornea, actually.
I feel like I remember that.
Just the itchiness.
Yeah. No, I just drank the canned
ones.
ones.
Long shots. The canned ones, too. They'll get the job done. They used to make it. It used to be illegal. It used to have, like, I don't know about you in Wisconsin, but when I was in high school sports, it was banned. You couldn't have C4.
Yeah, I think they did for a little bit. I don't know for sure, though.
I don't know that it would give you that much of an advantage, though, because you're tweaking, you're shaking. So, anyways, Locks and Longshots. So, I'm 37-34 now. Last week was bad. I've decided that I will never do more than 1 or 2 locks again. I take pride in my locks. You know, I want you guys to go out there and feel like you can bet these unless I tell you not to, which I've done before. But we had 3 last week. Central plus 14.5. That didn't hit. Michigan first quarter minus 7.5. That one's actually funny because it didn't hit. Michigan was up 7-0 at the end of the first, but the first play of the second quarter, Michigan scored. And Oof. I was jokingly like, go for the end zone, call a timeout when there was like 5 seconds left running clock. And they scored next play. So that was unfortunate, but I didn't actually bet that one myself, so I got lucky there. And then I had Central and MSU over 45.5. Didn't hit. They put up 38. That game was so bad the first half. It was Michigan State looked awful. Central looked bad. And then MSU just kind of took over the second half. So, yeah, 0-3 there on those locks. We still got Wisconsin over 8.5. We're both riding that. That'll be open for a while. I think that'll hit week 10, though. Can't wait for that. This week, I like this play. It's a little bit of a heart play, but not so much. I've done the research. Sam Laporta, a lot of great words coming out of training camp from Sam Laporta. He's the new Lions tight end. He's got his over receiving yards is 30.5 Thursday night. I love a good Thursday night play. I think Goff will be targeting him. I was going to have Lions plus 6.5. That's now down to 5.5. It turns out Travis Kelce may have hyperextended his knee tonight or today in practice, but we're not taking that. It's down to 5.5 now. But the over 30.5, I think he's going to get targets. He's a beast. He looks good. All it takes is one play. I love that play. I think he's going to get 4 or 5 catches. So you figure, you just need a 10-yard catch and then like a 6-yard, maybe a 3-yard, and then boom, 12-yard catch, boom, we cash. That's at minus 115. I love that play. Long shots on the other end. I did not say I couldn't have more than 1 or 2 long shots, and we got a bunch this week. 24, 41, and 1. Last week we had the Michigan play. It was the over in both Michigan games. Michigan State, Michigan. Both did not hit. We'll get to that shortly. But this week, I'm excited. Heart play here. Jahmyr Gibbs, Offensive Rookie of the Year, plus 1,000. I figure the only people he has to beat out are C.J. Stroud, who plays for the Texans with 1 receiver. He's not going to win it. Bryce Young, Panthers. He's got Adam Thielen. He's like 47 years old. He's got Miles Sanders, but he's not going to win it. So you say, well, who's left? Oh, just, Bijan Robinson, who everybody thinks is going to be the new Barry Sanders. So basically here I'm just hoping that Gibbs puts up more receiving yards than Bijan. And maybe Bijan, his offensive line is ass. I know the Falcons line in the past has been bad. There's just too much hype with Bijan. I know you're riding it, but I do like Gibbs here, Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's supposed to be this beast, and you got to ride. And then we get to the heart play of the week. Lions money line, Thursday night, plus 225. It's probably gone down now with the Travis Kelce news. I think the Lions can go out and win this game. The only thing I'm looking for, I want the Lions to just keep it close. Don't get blown out and embarrassed. But I like Lions money line here.
It is down to plus 190. And then I got one more.
It went down to plus 190. Okay. Well, I'll leave that in there then since we're recording now. It was 225 earlier before the Travis Kelce news. And then I'm also taking Hopkins anytime touchdown plus 225. I looked at the Titans roster. They have nothing. They have nothing except for Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins. So I figure
Treylon Burks.
First game, Treylon Burks he hasn't done a thing in this league to make me think he could do anything. I think this is going to be an A.J. Brown situation where he'll put up 7 or 8 touchdowns this year. It'll be a lackluster year, but I'm hoping one's in week 1 so people can be like, oh, DeAndre Hopkins has arrived. And I like plus 225. That's good juice for an anytime touchdown. So go ahead with your locks and long shots.
I'm not going to lie. I don't hate Gibbs for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think it's good value for, if anything does happen to Bijan. I think I talked about it last night in our fantasy draft with Bijan, and I just said that, I like him, but I feel like the hype might be a little bit too much. Everyone's just expecting him to basically be the best running back in the league as a rookie for a shitty team. So there is the chance that he does end up being exactly what people are thinking he's going to be. But if he's not, there's a chance that Gibbs might be the best offensive rookie this year. So don't hate it. My locks. Rough week. I got to stop chasing. I was trying to get back to even last week, so I took 4 different locks, and I went 1-3. I had the Brewers money line. They were on a 9-game win streak. I take them, and they lost. Ended the win streak for them. Got another loss in my locks. I took their over 2.5 team total. They scored 2 runs. I think they actually got shut out that day. So that was a loss. I had the Mariners minus 1.5, who were the second hottest team behind the Brewers. They were playing against the A's. They lost that night. So that was the 3rd loss. And then I had the fuck Graham Mertz Utah minus 6.5 play. It just kept dropping and dropping down to 4.5, I think it closed at. But Utah did end up winning and covered the spread. So we look good. We at least got 1 there. We're now 19, 26, and 1. I'm not chasing, but I do have a couple that I really like this week. Obviously, NFL Week 1, Packers-Bears. I got to take the Packers points. They're underdogs. It's the Bears. I get the Packers don't play well in Week 1, but it's a whole new system. We got Jordan Love in there. I'm trusting it. Packers plus 1.5. I think it's actually down to 1 now. We might be favorites by Sunday morning. Who knows? Also, Dolphins +3. Chargers are historically bad on week 1, and it is in LA, so I get home field advantage. Kind of gives you about 3 points. So by my calculations, the Chargers and Dolphins are pretty fair, pretty even there. I feel like it's kind of a toss-up. Give me the Dolphins to come out hot. Give me the Chargers to stink during week 1 like they usually do. So Dolphins +3. I thought about taking their money line in a long shot, but I'm not going to. I still have Wisconsin over 8.5 wins open, just like Jake said. Long shots. Rough week last week on long shots as well. We had the parlay. Actually, the parlay ended up doing fine. I think the Tigers was the only one that lost. I had the Brewers +1.5, Rays +1.5, Tigers +1.5, Ashlers +1.5. Pretty sure the Tigers were the only ones that lost that. I should have known better. Just should have known. I am 10-43 this year on long shots. Probably just tail me at this point, or fade me at this point. I guess you could tail me, but I still have open the Packers to win the division, Bijan Rookie of the Year, and then I'm marking Bo Bichette hits leader as a loss. He's just coming off the IL this week, and he's behind the leader by like 30 hits, so I just don't see that happening. This week, though, I found a 6-point teaser that I absolutely love. I have not showed this to Jake yet. It is +500. I just cooked this up today, found a bunch of lines I loved, and I might put a lot of money on this one. I'm not going to lie. So first off, we have Lions-Chiefs over 47.5 points.
Okay.
Jags +1.5 against the Colts. Packers +7.5 against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers +8.5 against the Niners at home. Ravens -4 against the Texans. And the Eagles +2.5 at the Patriots. +600.
I like that.
Or +500.
I'm gonna need you to screenshot that. Send me that in text form.
Don't worry, I already have it screenshotted.
I like that play a lot.
So do I.
I like that play a lot.
All right, and then go ahead.
The only one, if I may, real quick. Run through it again quick. Not the Lions and Chiefs. What was after that one?
I just sent it to you. So Lions, Chiefs over, Jags +1.5 against the Colts.
The only one that makes me nervous there is the Steelers. However, home field, I think Kenny Pickett has a chance to take the bump this year. And then the 49ers, too, they lost some guys on defense. And it's like, is Brock Purdy going to be the way he was last year? Who knows? So I'd say the Steelers are the only one that ruins that for me. But I will be riding this. I like this.
So that's where I was kind of thinking, too. Because I could have made the 49ers plus, 3.5 point dogs with the teaser. But I figured 8.5, you're getting at least a full touchdown with the Steelers. Plus, you don't know if Brock Purdy is going to be fully healthy. Plus, we don't know who the running back even is in San Fran. We never really know that. I mean, defense is good.
They're taking it easy with McCaffrey.
Exactly. I just feel like there's a lot of question marks.
Avoid his injuries.
And you're giving the Steelers home dogs week 1. I don't know.
Yep.
So that was my thought there. And then my nuts on the table, college play of the week, Texas money line at Alabama this week. This is the real test to see if Texas is back. They didn't look fantastic against Rice last week, but I like Texas. I hate Alabama. I think Bama's overhyped.
If you remember, last year's game, they were at home, but they were winning that game, and they looked good up until Ewers
got hurt. Yep.
So, based on last year, and I don't think Texas has lost much, Bama's got a new quarterback. Yeah, I don't hate that.
Exactly.
However, it is
told you,
at
nuts
Bama,
on the table. Is Texas really back?
It's at Bama. Their fans, they like to leave at halftime, but that's when they're playing nobody teams. I feel like the fans might stay for this one, but you still might get some students that leave. They don't give a shit, you know?
Yep.
So I don't hate that play. I don't hate that play.
We're going to test it out.
Well, that's your locks and long shots. Hopefully we have a nice, good week one here. So let's quickly do some college football because I think NFL, we're just going to be talking. I love NFL. But college was crazy last week, so I'll just start. Michigan looked fine. I hate that we aren't one of those teams that blows out the bad teams we play because we put in the backups so early. So it's got me thinking like, oh, we didn't cover the spread, and ECU's bad, and at home we only won 30-3. Like, that doesn't look good. But Michigan didn't really make a single mistake in the game. ECU we would have shut them out, but they got like a last-second field goal, and it was sad. And Harbaugh's not there, so it's just like I'm not going to put too much into it. However, I would like if we were one of those teams that blows out the bad teams. However, we got UNLV this week. They're a lot worse. I know ECU was actually decent last year in their division, so I think they were the harder of our three. I forget who we played week 3. Is it Bowling Green? I don't know. I know ECU was the harder one. UNLV's Garbo. That's going to be a 50-point win. But you can't really get mad. Same thing with, like, before you get into Wisconsin. Like, Ohio State didn't look good. They played a much better team. They played Indiana, but it was at home.
The Big Ten as a whole looked bad.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like people are warming up. Like, at least Ohio State has the excuse of it's a new quarterback. Oh, Ohio State was on the road, actually. And, you know, Big Ten, Indiana. But, like, 23-3 for Ohio State, like, that's a bad game for them. Michigan, 30-3 at home against ECU. That's a bad game. However, we put our bench players in halfway through the third, so Ohio State did not do that. It actually looked like Indiana had a chance. I think it was 7-3 at halftime. But why don't you talk about Wisconsin? That's enough out of Michigan for me. I just, bottom line, you know, they could have looked better, but it's week 1. I don't care. Big games are coming. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Wisconsin I was kind of in the same boat with. I expect there to be growing pains this year with a whole new offense coming in, you know, a new quarterback, new coach, new OC. I just didn't really know what to expect. And I kind of said that I just wasn't sure what to expect the first couple of weeks. I think my biggest takeaway was I am a little concerned about Tanner Mordecai at quarterback. It wasn't that he was bad, but he also wasn't good. Like, he was 24 for 31, only 189 yards, threw for 1 touchdown, but he also threw for 2 picks. He's kind of risky. And like the 2 picks weren't good picks. Granted, one of them should not have been a pick. There should have been we had a wide open touchdown that got dropped the play before, and then the next play he threw a pick. But I don't know, just the quarterback play wasn't good, and I'm a little concerned that maybe we overhyped our quarterback room, or at least Tanner Mordecai, and maybe we just have Graham Mertz 2.0 starting for us right now. I also didn't expect the run game to be quite as good as it was. Chaz Malusi went off for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. Actually did better than Braylon Allen on less carries. So, I mean, we ran the ball 40 times, threw the ball 31 times. I was expecting more air raid. I don't know. Maybe this is just a slow transition. By the end of the year, we're throwing the ball 50 times and running it 25. I don't really know what to expect. A win's a win. I'll take it. Not loving the fact that we let Buffalo put up 17 points, but Buffalo's also not the worst team you could play in week 1. So I'll take it, but I would really like to see the defense get back to Wisconsin defense, and hopefully the offense evolves. So,
yeah, I didn't watch the Wisconsin game. I was just kind of getting your text as the game went. But yeah, not covering the spread against Buffalo sucks, especially with how confident we were in them. But new quarterback, new offense, new coach, growing pains, I'm sure.
Like I said, I think by week 3, week 4, I think this could be a completely different team. I think that all of these concerns could be out the window and we could be just fine. And maybe it is just growing pains. But week 1 did worry me a little bit.
I want to drop back quick. I forgot to mention J.J. McCarthy threw the ball a lot. He was 26 for 30, 280 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I hope this becomes a thing. Let that boy sling the ball. Him outside the pocket, he looks so good, and that's going to win you a lot of games. And especially, like, going down the stretch there, like, he didn't throw the ball until Ohio State last year. We ran. Corum gets hurt, you know. If we can get to the playoff fully healthy, they have a legitimate chance. So, other news, Georgia didn't look great either, but they have a new quarterback. What did they win? 38-3 or something. But just the teams that you expect to blow them out, you know, they just didn't.
I was gonna say, and there is a lot of new quarterbacks, but I don't know, there wasn't any.
I take it back. Florida did blow them out, or Georgia. It was 48-7, but at halftime it was 17-0. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't like a lot of teams with new quarterbacks didn't impress the way I kind of thought they were going to. Like Georgia, 48-7 is, yes, a blowout. Did I expect more? Yes. Michigan, 30-3. It's not impressive. Did I expect more? Yeah. Ohio State, 23-3. Expected more. Bama, 56-7. Can't exactly say I expected more out of them. That's fine. And then USC, we knew about USC, so.
Yep. Other news, upset Central last week. So you had Colorado beat TCU. Colorado, I think I owe them somewhat of an apology. I'm going to lightly apologize to Dion. They looked good. However, their defense is non-existent, and that might hurt them. But the over 3.5 wins, that is locked. They're gonna get 4 wins. They've got a guy, Travis Hunter. He might even win the Heisman. He played 130 snaps. Ridiculous. However, I was telling you, TCU just lost their quarterback, their best receiver. Last year kind of felt fluky. They had like 7 one-possession wins. Snuck into the playoff even though they lost the Big 12 championship. But I can't hate on them too much. They beat Michigan. I just didn't think they deserved to be in the championship. But, yeah, Colorado, nobody gave them credit. They were 20-point dogs. They come out with a win. You brought up a good point of, bet on Travis Hunter or, Shadir Sanders.
Yeah.
Bet on them to win the Heisman and then just cash out if they keep showing off.
Yeah, so when I told you that, it was Travis Hunter was plus 5,000, Shadur Sanders was plus 10,000. By the time I grabbed $5 on Travis Hunter later that night, he was down to plus 4,000. Shadur Sanders was also down to plus 4,000. By the next morning, both were down to plus 3,000. So I should actually add that to my long shots. I have Travis Hunter at plus 4,000 for Heisman. I do have an old takes exposed real quick. Right after the Colorado game, you and I and our friend Javi were texting. Javi is a Nebraska fan. And I said something about the Heismans, and I said if they keep winning, these odds are going to drop. And you said they won't keep winning. Nebraska wins by double digits. Heard it here first. Do you want to add Nebraska minus 10 to your long shots?
I'll throw in that long shot. What's the odds on that? Can you get me an odds on that quick?
I can look. I can't guarantee you how quickly that'll come.
How about minus 9.5?
Okay. Give me about 20 seconds. I
just think now Colorado's ranked. I don't know if you saw that. They're ranked 21st. Yep. I don't know how you do that with a team that won 1 game last year. And I get it. They had 50-some transfers or whatever. But TCU, I don't know. I think I even said last week they blow them out just because I thought, Colorado hype's too real, blah, blah, blah. I I think they could have a good year. But Nebraska's +3 this week. I love that line. But let's see if I can adjust this line. Nebraska.
I cannot get anything more than Nebraska minus 2.5. Yep.
So I guess I'll throw that in at +159.
Didn't this open at Nebraska minus 2.5?
No, I'm pretty sure it opened Colorado minus 1.5. 90% of bets are on Colorado too.
No, it opened at Nebraska minus 1.5.
Oh, okay.
And it's moved to Nebraska +3.
I like Nebraska here still. I know that Nebraska's bad, but dude, like, it's Colorado. They won one game last year. Nebraska. If you answer this, does Nebraska have a better defense than TCU?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was a home game for Nebraska when I said double digits.
That's fair. I mean, I'll just give you -3.
I'll do Nebraska -5. We'll cut it in half. Home field advantage. I'll say Nebraska -5, just for giggles. I'm not gonna. I will keep an eye. Maybe I can bet that.
300.
Wait, what about if I did scoring margin? That's got to be in here somewhere, right?
Probably.
And I did here we go. Winning margin. Nebraska. Oh, I was hoping it would be like Nebraska 7+, but I could do Nebraska to win by 7
I don't know.
to 12, and it's +650.
I'd give you that.
I'm not actually going to.
7+,
I don't like
I'll
those
give you that
bullshit.
+500.
What if I did an SGP? So I can get Nebraska -6.5. Here, we'll use this number. Nebraska -4.5 is +245 in an SGP. So we'll do Nebraska -4.5, +245. And I will bet that right now, actually. I will do it with something that's locked. Like, I don't know, can I do like over 6 points? No. I'll find something. Like, something that's like -1,000. Colorado 12 points over 21.5. Don't want to do that. Nebraska over 17.5. Don't want to do that. Quarters.
No, I would.
No, I'm gonna have to wait until.
Just do first quarter under 17.5.
No, I don't like that either.
2 touchdowns and
Colorado's
2 field
got no
goals.
defense. Yeah, Colorado's got no defense. I'll wait.
All right,
and I'll just add something when the lines come out for props.
Okay, I will say, I think I do think Colorado is going to be decent. I think the hype is still a little bit high. I get it. Yes, week 1 they went out and proved that they're for real against a good TCU team. Like, no matter how you look at it, TCU is still a decent team. But I don't they haven't done anything to ever prove it in the past, and now just one game they shoot from a 3-win team last year to 22nd. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit too much hype, and I understand having 87 new players and everything like that, and you've completely thrown this entire system and just redone everything. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. I think end of the year they might finish bottom of the top 25. They don't have that hard of a schedule, so if they continue to play well, maybe they finish higher than that, but I don't know. I think the Pac-12, I told you I had some takes about the Pac-12. I strongly like my take that the Pac-12 might have 2 teams in the playoff this year. If you look at what they did this week, but if you look at what the Pac-12 did as a whole this week. So, first off, you have Oregon. Went out and beat
They played
Portland
an FCS
of
team.
any
I
team.
don't want to hear that.
No, that's not my point. So, yes, they put up a shit ton of points. They shit stomped Portland State 81-7. Then you had Washington 56-19 over Boise. Pretty good game. USC has now won 66-14 against Nevada and 56-28 against San Jose State. Probably should have beat San Jose State by more, but whatever. Utah went out and beat a pretty decent Florida team, 24-11 with a backup quarterback. And then you have, who was it? Colorado beating TCU. Washington State beat Colorado State 50-24. Not a huge game, but something. And then Oregon State, who is also ranked, 42-17 against San Jose State. Like, there's at least 4 good teams in this conference between USC, Oregon, Washington, and Colorado or Oregon State. You have 4 to 5 good teams in here, and I get they're going to beat up on each other. But if 2 of those teams end with 0-1 losses, like say USC and Oregon. Oh, I forgot Utah. So you potentially have 6 or 7 good teams in there. If USC finishes with no losses and say Oregon or Utah or Washington finishes with 1 loss and it's to USC, why not?
The problem with saying that 2 will make it, I could see 1. The problem with saying 2 is that they're going to beat up on each other. USC's got to play Notre Dame, Oregon, and Washington. Washington plays those 3 as well, except for Notre Dame. Sorry, those 2. They're just going to beat up on each other. And then the Pac-12 championship, we saw it last year. Utah beats USC, knocks USC out of the playoff. I don't think anybody has respect for the Pac-12, and they're going to beat up on each other. I don't think a single team gets in, let alone 2. You might get.
But what other teams in any conferences impressed you this week?
Here's the thing: is the extreme overreaction. It's the same thing with Colorado. It's week 1.
I get
State,
that.
Michigan, Penn State, Georgia, Bama. Like those 5 teams, 2 of them are going to be in minimum, and then like they're going to warm up. I don't know if this happened last year. I don't think it did, but like Georgia still has their great defense. Bama's Bama. Clemson's fallen off the face of the earth. We'll get to them in a little bit, but I don't see 2 getting in. I think that's a wild statement.
I think that this year might be a crazy year.
You can't fault the hot take.
I think this year might be a crazy year in college football, and I think the Pac-12 might impress a lot of people in their final year.
I didn't even mention Notre Dame. If Notre Dame is a 1-loss team, they're going to make the playoff, without a doubt.
Yeah, Notre Dame looks really good.
They got to play USC. They got Clemson, but Clemson looks bad now. And then 1 other. So did I already say USC? I did. I'm all over the place now. I'm pulling up their schedule right now.
I think it's going to be a crazy year in college football. Nobody really impressed me, and granted it's early, but
Notre Dame's got Ohio State. They play Duke now, which might end up being a good win. Who knows? USC and then Clemson, which Clemson might be a good win. If Notre Dame's a 1-loss team and it's early, say they lose to Ohio State and it's close, they're going to make it. So that's another spot taken up. You won't have 2.
I'll
tell you what, if there's 2 Pac-12 teams in the playoff, I will get a tattoo on my body of RIP Pac-12. Or bring back
All right,
Pac-12.
I'll shake on that. Okay.
Deal. Let's move on because we need to speed up here. We said this was going to be quick, and it's not. Clemson lost to Duke last night. They looked awful. They made so many mistakes.
Because it was on ESPN, so.
I'll sum up the game for you. You got a little bit of it when we were playing or when we were drafting, but Clemson gets to the red zone, Clemson fumbles. Clemson gets to the red zone again, Clemson fumbles. And the other sum up is Clemson quarterback rolls out, he falls. Like it was just they were so sloppy. They looked like they hadn't practiced all summer or done a single scrimmage. Clemson's done for. I think Dabo got carried by 2 very good quarterbacks, and he doesn't have them anymore. So that's that for that. Now, Duke, funny, I don't know if you saw this. Duke's quarterback in his post-game presser asked his professor to get an extension on the homework that was due Monday night. Hilarious.
Oh, boy.
Also, Duke's quarterback has his mom text him before every game, "You suck," just to hype him up.
That is one interesting way to get hyped up.
I need somebody to text me, "You suck at golf," right before I golf. I bet you I would still suck at golf.
I was going to say, just let me know when you go golf next, and I'll text you before you go.
Yeah, Friday morning, I don't know what time you get up. Maybe text me.
7:15.
You wake up at 7:15 your time. Okay, text me right when you get up Friday. I've got a work golf outing. Text me, "You suck at golf. You'll never be anything." And we'll see how I do.
Okay.
we'll update next week. The only other college football news I have is that there was another 20-point underdog that won outright. Texas State. They beat Baylor. They looked great. They won 42-31. Baylor didn't look bad. They just got outgunned. Texas State was just, their offense was high power. Anything outside of you before we get into the NFL?
Quick thing on Tennessee, their 3-quarterback system, because they run no huddle. Their 3 running back system, not 3-quarterback system, looks really good. And I think you might have to watch out for, I believe his name is Jalen Wright, their running back. Potential Heisman if Tennessee continues to win. Joe Milton didn't look bad. He was slow start, but once he got under control, his throws were pretty good. He's got a rocket of an arm. I'm excited to watch this team. So, go Vols.
It was funny getting your text. Obviously, Milton, former Michigan quarterback. It was funny getting your text that he can't throw downfield, and I think you said he was 0 for 5 for 10-plus air pass yards.
Yeah, he started like 1 for 7 on passes over 10-plus air yards, and he was like 8 for 8, everything under 10 yards.
Check down specialist.
Yes, check down king.
Yeah, I don't see him being good, but maybe Tennessee's got something going there, because also Hendon Hooker came out of nowhere and was awesome. So we will see.
We'll see.
What do you think about doing that's it for college football? What do you think about just going through, making the division winners parlay, and then just talking about the teams that we see? And I feel like that's a good sum up.
I like
Let's do that. So what we decided to do is we're going to go through each division, pick our winners. Obviously, for the NFC North, we're probably going to have different answers. That's okay. But everything else, I think we can work through it and kind of come up with a nice, good parlay here to ride out for the year.
I agree. Are you doing this on DraftKings or FanDuel?
I'm on DK.
Okay, so I'm on FanDuel just to compare odds to what they would be.
Okay. Division winners. All right, I have NFC North first. Let's talk about it quick. I will get my Lions spiel out. You can get your Packers spiel out. I've never been this excited for a Detroit Lions season in my life. I will be extremely disappointed. Not that my hopes are up. Like, my expectation is finish above 500, hopefully win the division, but I don't expect them to win the division. But make the playoffs, man. I just want to see the playoffs. Win a game, win a playoff game. It's a great season. I see people telling them saying they're going to make the Super Bowl. I think that's wicked, but would be sweet. Not going to lie to you. However, if the Lions lost in the Super Bowl, check in on me. I think I would be devastated, just because, I don't know, I haven't really – my teams, since I've really paid attention to sports, have never been good. Like, Michigan losing in the playoff hurt me pretty bad last year, especially to TCU. But I'm so excited to see Gibbs. Jameson Williams, I'm excited to see if this guy's going to be a bust or if he's just had a bad start and he'll turn it around. But as of right now, he's suspended, 6 or 8 games? Do you remember?
6.
He's got a 6-game suspension, so he'll come back. I want to see if Goff had maybe, was just getting started. We could see, 2018 Goff, maybe? But Gibbs and Montgomery is going to be a monster. Our O-line got so much better. The other big thing is the defense. Did our defense get any better? Literally, the smallest improvement is an improvement, because our defense was so bad last year. If we could I feel like our offense is going to put up points. We got some good receivers. We got some backs. We got Goff. If the defense can just hold teams to under 30 points, I think we have a shot. I feel like you give up more than 30 points, it's not looking good.
All right.
So, yeah, I'm taking the Lions to win the division. Go ahead and talk about your Packers now, and then we'll hit on the Bears and Vikings as well.
First, for Lions, give me win or loss. Ready? Chiefs.
They're my long shot. I got to say win.
Seattle, at home.
At home, win.
At home against Atlanta.
Win.
At Green Bay. Thursday night.
I'm gonna say win, just until I don't think Jordan Love's gonna be good.
That's fine. At home against Carolina.
Win. I'm gonna change Chiefs to loss.
Okay.
At
Tampa. Yep.
At Tampa, win. Wow, this is an easy schedule so far.
At Baltimore.
I'll put that one as a loss. I think Baltimore's gonna be pretty good.
Okay. At home against Vegas on Monday night.
Monday night.
Halloween.
Vegas. Halloween. W. I said win. Can you hear me?
Okay. I got you now. Yeah. So at the bye week, you are 6-2.
Okay, I like that.
And then coming out of the bye week, we got at the Chargers.
At the Chargers. Man, their offense looks like it could be good. Eckler, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen if they stay healthy. What's the Quentin something? What's his
Quentin
name?
Johnson.
Quentin Johnson. He might be good. Their defense, they still have Khalil Mack. We'll go loss.
Okay, at home against the Bears.
Win.
Thanksgiving, at home against Packers.
Thanksgiving, we're finally going to get a win. I don't know how long it's been, but we're going to win.
Okay. At New Orleans.
It's a Packers sweep, by the way, if you didn't notice. At New Orleans.
Yeah,
I think New Orleans is going to be sneaky good this year. Kamara will be back then. They got Derek Carr. Michael Thomas Olave. Their defense is decent. We're going to lose that game, and people are going to think we should win it easy. But I think the Saints are going to be good.
Okay. At the Bears.
At the Bears. What date are we at right now?
December 10th.
December 10th. It's going to be that game, calling it right now. It's going to be ice, sub-zero temperatures, and the Bears are going to walk out with a win somehow, and I'm going to be fucking pissed. So
okay.
That's a loss for the Lions.
At home against Denver.
At home against Denver, Sean Payton, Russell Wilson. They're going to play. They're going to be confused because the ball is not going to travel 30 yards further than it should. Win. That's a win.
Okay. At Minnesota, Christmas Eve.
Again. At Minnesota, I'm going to call that one a loss.
Okay. At Dallas, December 30th, Sunday or Saturday night.
December 30th at Dallas. Saturday night. Give me a win there. That's indoors.
And then at home against Minnesota.
Did I say loss for the last Minnesota?
Yes.
Okay, then we're going to win the last one. We're going to split with Minnesota. What's that? 10 and 7?
11-6.
11-6. Love it. That's winning the NFC North right there.
That's fair.
I love it. 11-6.
Packers.
Give me a second. I'll pull up the Packers. Give me a second. You talk about them. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, so I like the moves that we made in the draft this year. I think Lucas Van Ness is going to start right away, either as he's a D-end. I think he'll probably start right away. He's looked great in preseason from everything that I've heard. Came out of Iowa. Iowa's had great defense. Luke Musgrave, our second-round pick, going to be our starting tight end, even though I told Jake last night during our draft that he wasn't going to be. That was just because I didn't want him to pick him. Jaden Reed might be the third option, wide receiver-wise. He's a big-bodied guy out of MSU. I like him. I think Jordan Love is being slept on by a lot of people. Preseason, he looked fantastic. And fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, the Packers actually were the highest-rated offense and the highest-rated defense in all of preseason this year, which granted it is preseason, but for a team that had a very down year and the defense wasn't good for the first 10 weeks last year, to see that, it's kind of just like an instant improvement. So if the defense can play how it played the last 6-7 weeks of the year last year, I think that our offense doesn't have to be fantastic to be able to stay in games and give us a fighting chance. Packers also have like the 5th easiest schedule in all the NFL, which super nice, kind of gets to ease Jordan Love into it after having only one start. But I think Love has built a connection already with some of the top guys, like Watson and Dobbs, and I've heard even Musgrave has a good connection already. So a lot of guys are backing Love. Aaron Jones is still there. A.J. Dillon is still there. Our O-line is still intact. The O-line's always been a good asset that we have. If anything, the right side of the line is a little weak, but that's Love's front side. He can move his feet a little bit, so I'm not worried there. We got a new kicker. No more Mason Crossbar. Don't have to worry about that. I want to say that I like this team to win the division. Realistically, is it a good idea? Probably not. Especially not in the first year. I should probably do what I'm doing with Wisconsin and temper my expectations. But I'm diving straight into the hype. And, Jordan Love technically in year 3 or year 4, I'm just going to buy right into it. And I'm going to throw them as my NFC North division winners. I think Minnesota could have a chance. I think Detroit's going to be tough. I don't think Chicago's going to stand a chance. But, if you give the Packers a couple of those toss-ups, plus they got the 5th easiest schedule, whatever, in the NFL, you never know. You never know.
Okay. All right, their schedule. Let's pick it up a little bit just because we're already going long, but I've got to go to a draft party, so let's pick up a little bit. Not going to rush you on your Packers, though. So, week 1, Bears.
Win.
Yep. Week 2 on the road against the Falcons.
Win.
Okay, and then Saints at home.
First home game, I'll say win. It'll be a tough game, but Kamara's not back yet, so win.
Yep. Lions at home. Thursday night.
Win. It's at home.
Raiders on the road.
We don't play well out west. Loss.
Okay. Broncos on the road.
We'll say loss, just to be realistic a little bit.
Vikings at home.
Say a loss there as well. Jordan Love's going to go into a little bit of a losing streak.
Rams at home.
Win.
Steelers on the road.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's a loss.
Chargers at home.
Gonna get a little chilly there. I don't know if Herbert can play. Herbert's been in the cold. Nah, win.
Okay.
Upset.
Lions on the road, Thanksgiving.
Lions can't win on Thanksgiving. That's a win.
Okay. Chiefs at home.
I would like to say win just because Jordan Love has started against him and didn't play terribly, but that was also COVID year, so I'll say a loss.
Okay. Giants on the road.
Monday night. Loss.
Bucks at home.
Win.
Panthers on the road.
Win.
And Vikings on the road.
Shit. I guess we'll go loss there.
And then Bears on the road. Or at home, sorry. Bears at home.
Win.
All right, so you got them at 10-7.
And swept by the Vikings.
I would say that is a good start to Jordan Love's rookie year.
That would be an excellent start. If we can finish 10-7, that is an excellent start to the Jordan Love career.
As we were going through there, you're not wrong. That's a pretty easy schedule, but I think there's going to be some Jordan Love growing pains, but we'll see.
I think so.
Quickly,
a little bit.
I think the Vikings will still be the Vikings. I don't think their defense is very good, but that offense, man, Justin Jefferson, they did lose Cook, but
I think Alexander Madison has too much hype.
I think so too.
I don't think he's good.
I think he was a backup for a reason, and when he started, he didn't look that good except for against Detroit. So the Bears, they're young. I think Justin Fields has a good year. I don't think he wins the MVP like people are saying. But DJ Moore, he finally has somebody to throw to. I drafted him last night. I'm excited to see what he does. Anything on the Bears?
No. C words.
Okay.
Chicago B words.
AFC West now. The only thing I'll say is that I don't think the Raiders will be that good, but it's Jimmy G, Devontae Adams. It's just the defense that scares me. I've got the Chiefs here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, how could you not have the Chiefs here? I think people. Yeah. I would like to say that the Chargers could challenge them, but I don't know. I think the Chiefs are still the cream of the crop there, and I think second place might be a toss-up, honestly, between the other three teams. I think the Raiders are kind of being slept on. really the only thing they're replacing is Derek Carr with Jimmy G, and I think that could potentially be an upgrade. So,
if he stays healthy, Jimmy G's been having some troubles with health lately. But
that is true. I think the Broncos are a lot better than last year. I think they honestly could make the playoffs depending on how the Chargers do. It's all going to come down to the division games there, honestly.
Mm-hmm. The AFC East. This one's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Obviously we can eliminate quickly the Patriots. Mac Jones, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I don't think they win it. I think it's a toss up between the other three. Not necessarily a toss up. I don't really like the Dolphins just because of Tua's injury history. But man, the Jets, Hard Knocks, like the defense looks great. The defense was great last year. Now you picked up a quarterback. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Lazard. Who's their other wide receiver? Oh, Randall Cobb. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook. The only problem is that line, and that's why I want to take the Bills, but part of me wants to take the Jets just because I feel like Rodgers is going to find a way to win games, and I could see him winning the division. I want to see what you think.
I think the AFC East is a 3-horse race. Like you said, we can kind of eliminate the Patriots, but the Dolphins are still good value. The only issue with the Dolphins is they don't really have a running back. I think Devon Achane, their rookie that they drafted, is probably going to be the starter come week 6, maybe week 8. He is small, though, and that worries me a little bit that maybe he's not going to be as good in the NFL as people think he is. Tua also a little bit worrisome there. But when he is healthy, if he continues to do what he did last year, that's going to be dangerous. The Jets, I agree with everything you said. I think that they're going to be good, but the O-line is a little bit scary. I also wonder if maybe the defense, I get Quentin Williams and Sauce are still going to be good. CJ Mosley's still going to be good. Outside of that, is there much more?
Their rookie first-round pick looks good, and I'm pretty sure they picked up a safety in the offseason.
Okay. So defense still could be good. I think the Bills are still the team to beat here. They did add Damian Harris, so it'll be James Cook and Damian Harris. I don't know if that's really an upgrade from what they had. I think their receivers didn't really change.
Their defense is slowly.
They added Dalton Kincaid, which is he going to be better than Dawson Knox? I don't really know. I think they're kind of just the same as what they were last year, and that still won them the division. So then it's just, are the Jets upgrades enough to beat the Bills?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
All right. I cannot decide between those two. I know I don't want to take the Dolphins, and I was going to fight you on that. I'm glad we're on the same page. I would
like to take the Dolphins, but just with the risk, I don't want to.
I cannot decide between the Jets and the Bills. It's did they get that much better? Was the only piece they were missing last year a quarterback? And it's no. Their offensive line was garbage. But is Rodgers good enough to make that work?
Personally, I think we should take the Bills. I think it's the safer option.
I can do that. I'm good with that. I don't trust that offensive line enough. Also, injuries.
There's also just the age with Rodgers. Yep, age with Rodgers. He didn't have a good year last year. Was that due to connection with his receivers? Was that him not wanting to be in Green Bay? Or was it really just talent?
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm good with Bills there. Okay. On to the AFC North. This one, I feel like you can eliminate the Steelers. I don't think they're anywhere near the Ravens or Bengals. Kenny Pickett could have a bounce back, not even a bounce back year, but just an improved year. He was a rookie last year. But
second year breakout.
I just feel like they don't really have the receivers. Najee Harris is good. Pretty decent defense, but I don't like the Steelers there. The
Hot take, I don't think
Browns-
Najee Harris is the starter for the Steelers by the end of the year.
I could see that.
I think Jalen Warren takes over.
The Browns, they didn't really make any upgrades to the defense, and it's like Deshaun Watson did not look good last year when he did play. However, he wasn't allowed to be with the team when he was suspended, so it's
There's a
kinda
ton of hype around him, and I just don't know how to feel about it. Like, everyone's saying, like, basically people are treating him as, like, this is a second year in the NFL, and he's about to have a second-year breakout and just return to what he was.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how to take it because, like, last year he didn't show anything to really kind of make anyone think that. But I get he's been good, but also, like, he didn't play for, what, a year and a half?
Yeah. Yep.
So...
And that offense, like, they've got Cooper. Who do they pick up?
Elijah
DPJ.
Moore. Love Elijah Moore this year.
It's like, just nothing crazy.
Nick Chubb.
there.
They don't have Kareem Hunt.
Nick Chubb. Yep, they don't have Hunt. I don't like the Bengals, actually. I like the Ravens here. I think the Bengals are going to be a good team. They're going to give the Ravens a run for the money. But I think also the Ravens are going to make the Bengals nervous. Joe Burrow, do we even know how long he's out for?
He's most likely going to play week 1. I just read about that today.
Is he? Okay. So that kind of changes my mind. I thought he was out 4 weeks.
No.
Oh, man. I mean...
My thought is I like the Bengals. The Bengals are going to be great. Burrow has been running into some injury issues, but Lamar also has injury issues. The Ravens, you could say upgraded their offense. We don't really know yet. They added OBJ. Can OBJ stay healthy? They added Zay Flowers. We don't know what he can do yet. J.K. Dobbins is back. Is he going to stay healthy? I think there's less risk with the Bengals just because we know what they can do. We've seen the success. They have better wide receivers. I would probably say Joe Mixon over J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Do you want to
And
stay
they
with the
upgraded
favorite,
their offensive
though, is
line,
the real
which
question.
is one of their bad ones.
That's also true.
Defense,
though,
like the
Ravens
Bengals.
have the defense.
Yep, I like the Bengals here just because I forgot about how great that wide receiver room is.
Okay. I'm good with
Good
that.
with the Bengals? All right.
Yep.
AFC South, this one for me is real quick. The Texans will not be good. Anthony Richardson's going to be fun to watch, but the Colts, they don't have anything else really appealing. Michael Pittman, he's okay. But I don't – Jonathan Taylor's probably not even going to play. And then the Titans, they only really have Henry. We'll see if they end up starting Levis, but I don't think they'll start him soon enough to make a push. I think this is Jags all the way.
I agree. I will say one thing about the Texans real quick. I think they're going to be fun to see grow with Stroud, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Damian Pierce. I think that's going to be a fun offense to watch grow, but outside of that, yeah, they're not going to do anything in this division. It's the Jags division to lose.
Mm-hmm. NFC East, I think this one for me is easy as well. We'll see if you agree, but the Commanders, Sam Howell will be fun to see, but they're not going to do anything. The Giants, Daniel Jones just doesn't get it done for me. Saquon has the injury issues. Wide receivers lacking. The Cowboys, that's the only, meh. But with how they looked last year, how Dak Prescott looked, they've got some injury things. Pollard could have a good year, and they do have CeeDee Lamb. And who's their other receiver? Can't think of his name.
Devonta Smith.
No, I was talking about the Cowboys.
Oh. Michael Gallup?
Yeah, I think it was Gallup. Their defense is okay. But I think this is
defense
Eagles.
is
They
pretty
went to
good.
the Super Bowl. I like the Eagles. They upgraded their defense. They got the receivers. They got the quarterback. What do you think?
I also agree. I like the Eagles. I don't trust Dak. It'll be interesting to see Pollard as a starter and see whether he can actually be a starter or if he should just be a backup. I sneakily think the Giants could finish second in this division if the Cowboys don't. I guess if the Cowboys just do what the Cowboys do. I think Daniel Jones isn't great, and I don't think their wide receiver room is great, but I think it works well enough together, and I think Brian Dable is a good enough coach that he just kind of makes it work with what he has. So I sneakily think the Giants could finish second. I guess it'll it'll be interesting to see if last year was a fluke and if it was lucky or if it was actually just that they were good. Commanders, yeah, they'll be fun to watch. They might have the worst fantasy football running back, the worst fantasy football backfield duo in all of history because we have no idea what's going to happen with Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. I think Johan Dotson has a hell of a breakout year this year. But yeah, the Commanders aren't going to do anything. I think it's the Eagles.
I just noticed we've taken all favorites so far. So,
yep.
With that in mind, let's go to the NFC South. This one's interesting to me. The Bucs aren't going to get it done. Baker, love them, but that offense is aging. The defense is aging. Panthers, young quarterback, not really a single receiver to throw to. Also, their future is fucked. They gave away all their picks. Falcons, I kind of like the Falcons. I think they've got Bijan. I don't want to overhype him. He could be a great running back, though. The defense has been good. It was just a matter of also, like, is Kyle Pitts going to break out? They got Drake London.
I was going to say, let's not forget Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Cordero Patterson, Bijan, Tyler Algier, a quarterback in Desmond Ridder that can actually throw, because we know Marcus Mariota could not throw.
Yep.
Like,
and then you got the Saints. The Saints are favored. However, the Saints, their defense is getting a little bit old. Derek Carr is a big question mark.
Michael Thomas is a huge question mark.
Olave looks good. Thomas is a question mark. Kamara's out for a while. Who's their backup? Jamal Williams. But Jamal Williams isn't a feature back. He did so well last year being paired with Swift where they could kind of two-headed monster it. I think when Kamara comes back, they'll be winning some games. I like the Falcons here.
So do I. I think the Falcons actually have a relatively easy schedule. I believe I remember. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But yeah, I think if the Falcons get out to an early enough start, just on the season. Okay, so they start with Carolina, Green Bay, at Detroit, at home against Jacksonville. That's a rough 4 weeks. Holy shit. Except for Carolina. But after that, Houston, Washington, at Tampa, at Tennessee, home against Minnesota, at Arizona, bye week, home against New Orleans, at the Jets. Then they got Tampa at home, Carolina on the road, Indy at home, Chicago on the road, New Orleans on the road. Like, I don't think that's that hard of a schedule. You play the NFC South, which is the weakest division in all of football, twice. Saints are going to be your biggest competition there. Then your out-of-conference games, you get the Bears, you get Houston, you get Tampa's in your division. Tennessee, Arizona, and Indianapolis. Those are some of the worst teams in football.
Yeah, I like the Falcons there. I think they'll have a slow start, and honestly, it might be good to take a peek at their odds after those 4 weeks there that you mentioned. Maybe double up, because they could go on a big old win streak there.
Well, and like the Saints, they start with Titans, at Panthers, at Packers, at home against the Bucks. So like even without Kamara, they're gonna have an easy. They actually have an easy first 5 weeks because then they have the Patriots and the Texans both on the road. But so I would say the Saints are probably gonna start out and go heavy favorites, and then the Falcons will have cruise control through the second half of the season.
All right, I'm not going to lie to you, Frankie. I'm getting yelled at by the rest of our fantasy football league to get over to the house for the draft party, so we got to speed up just a little bit. Okay. The last one here, the NFC West, we can skip right over the Cardinals. They're going to be first overall pick. The Rams, Matthew Stafford coming off a neck injury. I don't love it. Cooper Kupp's banged up. They don't really have anything outside of Cooper Kupp. And then you got Seahawks and Niners. Geno Smith, he had a good year, but he didn't win the big games. They got into the playoffs. He didn't look good. They got Kenneth Walker back, though. DK, Lockett. I feel like it's Niners or Seahawks here. I like the Niners because of the defense. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the Niners, too. If you want to add value, I could see taking the Seahawks just based off Purdy's injury. and the Niners really didn't add anything on offense. Seahawks did. They added Njigba and Charbonnet. So if you want to take the Seahawks for value, that's fine. If you want to take the Niners for safety, that's also fine.
All right, so we are going with, I'll read it through here. I'm taking the Lions. You're taking the Packers. Then we've got the Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Jags, Eagles, Falcons, Niners.
Yes.
All right. I like it. A lot of favorites.
What are your odds?
Mine are plus 26,587.
So mine is plus 58,857, but that's just because I have the Packers and you have the Lions.
Yep. All right. So let's do each of our Super Bowl predictions here. Actually, let's do MVP pick first. I want to look at odds, though.
So do I.
NFL. Need this to load. What the frick? It's not loading.
So I got Mahomes at plus 600, Allen 700, Burrow 700, Herbert 900, Hurts 1200, Rodgers 16, Lawrence 16, Dak 16, Tua 16, Lamar 16.
I like. I will take. Give me Hurts plus 1100. I think if the Eagles replicate what they did last year, Hurts will win it.
I like that.
Why am I blanking?
Mahomes, didn't he?
Maybe Mahomes.
No. I honestly like Trevor Lawrence at plus 1600. Adding Calvin Ridley.
Is that your formal pick?
Yeah, let's go Trevor Lawrence plus 1600.
All right. I will add that in. I know I said I wanted you to type, and then here I am typing. Trevor Lawrence, 1600, you said?
Yep.
All right. And then Super Bowl prediction. I'll do mine first. I've been thinking about it all day. I'm going Buffalo Bills out of the AFC versus.
Okay.
This is a toss-up for me. You know where the heart wants to go, but I'm not going to do it. I won't. I refuse to. I just know I liked the Bills. I think they finally fucking get there. I think I've been picking them for years and years.
Yep.
I will take I'll take the Eagles for the back-to-back. I think there's not a lot of competition there. I don't think I just don't see another team that's on the level that they are. And for my winner, I will take, let's say the Eagles get it done. They looked good last year. They made upgrades to the defense. That was their only weak spot. Yeah, I'll take the Eagles.
All right.
I should write down.
For me,
plus 650.
I would like to take the Jags to back up my Trevor Lawrence MVP, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go the Bengals versus I will also go with the Eagles.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with the Bengals winning it all.
Okay.
And then my FanDuel promo, I'm going to say the Ravens. But
let's skip the grid this week. That's your NFL preview.
I agree.
Oh my God, we have Paige's picks still. Shit. All right, Paige's picks very quick.
Yes.
What's our time at for this recording, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
Hour 15.
Yeah, we got to get going. All right, Paige's picks. Week 1, Lions at the Chiefs. Chiefs are minus 6.5, 5.5 now, I believe.
Yep. Paige has the Chiefs because she refuses to believe the Lions will be good. I also have the Chiefs.
I'm going to take the Lions, of course, as my long shot. It's my team. I'll take them week 1. I'm going to wait to take them to lose until they lose. So, Texans at Ravens. Ravens minus 10.
Paige has the Ravens, but doesn't really like the Ravens, but they do wear purple. So she's taking the Ravens. I'm also on the Ravens.
I've got the Ravens. Easy one there.
Yep.
Bengals, Browns. Browns are 2.5, plus 2.5.
Paige says the Bengals, but she's kind of pissed that Joe Burrow is engaged. In quotes, kind of a pisser. I have the Bengals as well.
I've got the Browns here. It's Browns are at home. Deshaun Watson, everybody's like, oh, he's going to have a good year, blah, blah, blah. I'll just take him here. I wanted to have a couple. I went back through, and I had changed a couple just to be different from you guys, but I'm taking the Browns.
I'm assuming this is also before you knew that Burrow was probably going to play week 1.
Yep, that was before I knew Burrow was going to be healthy. So, but I'm still riding it. Bucks at the Vikings. Vikings are -6.
Paige says, while I'm proud of the Bucks for getting rid of that man, Tom Brady, as we all know, said, I do think the Vikings will win. Cheers to the Bucks. I said Vikings.
I got the Vikings as well.
Yes.
Wait, so has Paige's picked the Vikings?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Titans at the Saints. Saints are -3.
She says, have to root for your team on the week, and I decided to declare myself a Titans fan, so she's picking the Titans. I'm also on the Titans.
And I've got the Saints. I don't trust the Titans yet. I don't trust Tannehill. And I think Derek Carr might come out looking good. People will overreact, and we'll go. Panthers at the Falcons. Falcons -3.5.
All right. Paige has the Falcons because she remembers that the Panthers were ass last year. I agree. I'm going to go with the Falcons. Bijan's going to prove it week 1.
I've got the Panthers. I don't trust Bijan yet. I don't care if I'm wrong. I think Bryce Young comes out in balls. We'll see. Jags at the Colts. Colts +5.
This is my favorite one. Paige says, the Colts, I like their logo. Wait, I'm thinking of the Chargers. Shoot, dude. Really fumbled the bag with that one. Jags. I'm also taking the Jags.
Yep, that's a good explanation. The Colts still have a good logo. I do like the Colts logo, but I'm on the Jags as well. 49ers at the Steelers. Steelers are +2.5.
Paige says, personally, I don't like either. Therefore, I made a friend that is a Steelers fan, so I'm going with the Steelers. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt this week. I'm going with the Niners.
You got the Niners as well. Their defense is too good. Kenny Pickett needs some time to grow. He'll be good this year, but the 49ers win. Cardinals at the Commanders. Commanders -7. They might win by 37. What did Paige have to say?
I take it back. This might be my favorite one. She says, where do the Commanders play? I told her it was Washington. She said, oh, that's right. Definitely the Cardinals. I feel like the Commanders have never done anything good. And then she realized that here in Memphis, the minor league baseball team is the Redbirds, and said, we have to be Cardinals fans. So she's taking the Cardinals. I'm taking the Commies.
Make sure you get that game for her on Sunday so she can see how bad the Cardinals are. The Commanders win by 1 million.
Yeah, I did get a Sunday NFL ticket for student plan under her name for $109. So
there you go. Packers at the Bears. Bears -1.
Surprisingly, Paige says, the Packers. I'm so proud of them for getting rid of that horde man, also known as Aaron Rodgers. We stand for Jordan Love. I'm taking the Packers by 1 billion. It's my lock of the week.
This one I was back and forth on. The only reason I'm taking the Bears is because they have home field, and I don't know what Jordan Love's going to do yet. So this week, like looking back, I'm either going to go 0-16 or 16-0. So I just took the Bears because they have home field. I think Justin Fields balls out. We'll see though. Raiders at the Broncos. Broncos -4.
Paige says, I have a bone to pick with the Raiders. They didn't put Isaac Cooch / Isaac Rochelle on their roster, but they did sign him to the practice team, so the Raiders. Also, she doesn't like the Commanders' name. They used to be the Redskins, right? And then I informed her that this game was not involving the Commanders at all. It was actually the Broncos. Said, oh, well, fuck them too. They remind me of Western Michigan. So she's still on the Raiders. I'm also on the Raiders.
Sid's going to hate hearing that part. She went to Western. She loves the Broncos. I hate their colors because every time she wears a Western thing, it looks like she's wearing shit. But I'm going to make sure she listens to this because it's hilarious, Paige's reasonings. I've got the Broncos.
Okay.
I don't know what Western people say. I think they go Broncos or get steamy Broncos. I would assume it's get steamy because of their shit color. So let's get steamy Broncos. Dolphins at Chargers -3.
Paige says, this is tough because I like the Lightning Bolts, but the Dolphins are my team, dude. Let's go with the Dolphins. She also thought the Swamp Kings documentary was about the Dolphins, and it's not. I'm taking the Chargers.
I've got the Chargers as well. That's hilarious that she thought that talk was about the Dolphins.
She said, don't they
In
have
her
like a
defense,
horrible coach or something? And I was like,
It was
No.
it was the correct state.
yes.
Eagles at the Patriots. Patriots plus 3.5.
So Paige has the Eagles. Then she asked me where New England is, and I told her it was Boston. And she didn't know that until I told her. She was very impressed and then said, wow, threw some history in there for you, you know? So she has the Eagles. I also have the Eagles.
I've got the Eagles as well. That one's quick. I think they win easy. I think the 3.5 there might be a lock for the Eagles. The Patriots, Mac Jones just doesn't look good. Rams at the Seahawks. Seahawks are -5. This one's weird for me. The -5 is crazy. Won't be touching that at all. But what does Paige think?
Yeah, she said, we know that Paige will forever and always stand with the Rams. # go Rams. I'm taking the Seahawks.
I'm taking the Rams. I know I said it earlier. I'm like, oh, they have no shot. Matthew Stafford, blah, blah, blah. I think if there's any game Matthew Stafford's going to look great in, it's going to be the first game until his neck takes a couple hits. So I'm going to take the Rams here. I'll ride with Paige. Cowboys at the Giants. Giants are plus 3.5.
All right, I'm going to try to do this one as best I can. Paige says, Cowboys. I want to be a cowboy, baby. I'm also taking the Cowboys.
That's pretty good. I'll take the Cowboys as well. Not going to lie, that was way better than I thought that was going to go. Finally, the last game, Bills at Jets on Monday night. Jets are plus 2.5.
Paige says, Jets got the old man, definitely the Bills. I didn't even like the Jets last year, and now they got a shit man on their team. He literally thinks he's higher than God. That show you watch, indicating Hard Knocks. He literally thinks he's Jesus Christ. He probably thinks he can walk on water. That doesn't surprise me. So she's on the Bills. I'm also on the Bills.
I'm going to take the Jets. I realized that I went back changing my games thinking I needed to be different than you guys, and I think we only agreed on like 4 games. So, like I said, I'm either going way under 500 or way above 500, but I'll ride with Rodgers. We'll see how he does game 1.
Quotes for the year. Paige says she's coming for the win this year. I said I'm just hoping to right my gambling wrongs at this point. And Jake says he barely lost last year, so he's coming to win this year.
Yep, let's do it. So glad to be back. We're going to skip the grid, like I said, because I got to get going. But do not bet this very fast. Clemson had them last night. They lost outright to Duke. Duke's a basketball school. And then Michigan games. My heart's enough. I don't enjoy watching Michigan games when I lose my bet, so I'm not betting those anymore. What do you got?
Yep. I got Clemson because of the Duke game. USC unders. I started taking their overs finally. Big 12 unders. Oklahoma. Can't take Big 12 unders. Colorado until further notice. I'm just not ready to get burned until I really know what's going on there. And then baseball when other sports are on. Do not bet it.
Very good. I'm loading up roulette as we speak. Did you want to change your numbers at all?
I decided I'm going to go, I'm going to change 8 to 10 for Jordan Love.
That's it. Oh, 8 just hit, but we wouldn't have got it anyways. I couldn't get this roll, so we're going to have one roll go by. If this is 10, that'd be kind of funny, but there was only 3 seconds. I wasn't going to get them in, so we're going to skip that one. Lightning numbers were 24 and 20. 20 got 500x. Imagine hitting a 500x. I don't think we did that, did we?
That would be so nice. No.
19, so not one of our numbers. Good. We're due. We're due here. All right. 0. Let's hit one to celebrate the new season. 0, 2, 3, 9, 10, 12, 22, 23, 24, and 30. Got him in, barely, at the buzzer. 3 seconds left.
Beauty.
Let's get a hit. I don't think we've hit in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Last one was episode 58.
It's been a while.
3 weeks. Lightning numbers coming in. 30. 30 at 50x. Wow, 35, 500x.
We have 30.
We do have 30. Come on now, let's hit a number. 9. Let's go!
Good.
Now, like we said, we're going to run it back
number, right?
with $1. Yep, that's my number. 0, 2, 3, 9, 10, 12, 22, 23, 24, and 30. There we go.
So you've hit
now, like we said earlier,
numbers.
we're cutting it in half.
23 twice.
Yep. We're cutting it in half after a win. So let's see if we can get the back-to-back here. If not, we cash her out. Ooh, lots of lightning numbers. None of our numbers, though. 6, 14, 17, and 21.
Gross.
Let's see if we can go back-to-back. Oh, 15. 15, not our number.
Nothing.
What? Good thing we cut it in half,
That's all right.
you know? So we profited 30
Exactly.
there. So that brings us to down 40 on the year. You put that in there. All right, perfect. Anything else before we
Yep.
go?
No, that was long enough.
That was very long. Very excited for the season. Next week, we will recap both episodes of Hard Knocks that we missed. Neither of us watched it, so we'll have that next week. Anyways, have a great weekend. Let's hit some tanks, throw some tutties. Welcome back, football.
Go Pack, go.